Hi everyone, welcome to Celestial, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about what it means to have Venus conjunct Pluto in your natal birth chart. And by natal chart, I mean your main birth chart. So this is where the planets would be sitting at the time of your birth. So if you have your Venus sitting with your Pluto, at Celestial we do 10 degrees and within. So within a 10-degree orb of one another, that would mean that Venus is conjunct your Pluto in your natal birth chart. Now, some astrologers do count same sign as conjunctions, but here at Celestial we do 10 and within. But if you are somebody that prefers same sign conjunction, then you're welcome to watch this video as well. And just to clarify, this video is specifically for Venus conjunct Pluto, so this is not going to talk about Venus trine Pluto, square, opposition, sextile, and so on. Now, this is a very intense and often difficult conjunction to have in a birth chart. It's very difficult to work with this energy because, frankly, there's not a lot that you can do. There's not a lot of wiggle room when it comes to Pluto, and when Pluto is connected this strongly, essentially a conjunction is when two planets are coming together and their energies are fusing. And when that planet is Pluto with a planet like Venus, it becomes very difficult to separate the two, and Pluto kind of takes over. Pluto in a birth chart represents a lot of transformative but oftentimes helpless themes. Pluto is not a planet or energy that you can negotiate with or that you can compromise with. Pluto is usually not there to listen, more so it's there for its own agenda. And that's not to say its agenda is to harm you. Oftentimes, Pluto is the cosmic or celestial cleaner of astrology or the spiritual arts because it comes into your life to remove what is no longer good for you. The difference is, or the difficulty rather, is that we are so connected to those themes that we have a hard time letting them go. And this kind of indicates or causes more pain connected to Pluto. Venus is, of course, our love. It's our love language. It's our desire. It's how we manifest. It's things that we attract, themes that we attract to ourselves. It represents our foundation, our value system, and it represents what we need to feel beautiful. Oftentimes, our self-esteem is very strongly connected to Venus. Our stability is, our self-love, and, of course, relationships of all kind, including platonic. Dominantly, Venus represents love and money, but Venus also goes on to represent our sentiments, what we value, and the pleasure we take in life as well. So when somebody has Venus conjunct Pluto in their natal chart, it usually very strongly indicates that themes such as love, money, value, sentiments take on a very intense and deep meaning. Oftentimes, these individuals, when they were growing up in their childhood or early life, have been exposed to themes or at least being made aware that power and love kind of go hand in hand, and they usually witness some very intense power dynamics within relationships. Even if it's not necessarily their own starting off, they could have witnessed it in the parents or other people that were close to them while they were growing up. Now, Pluto, much like Saturn, is a planet that can create a lot of fear, but the fear that Pluto creates is so deep and profound, it can often make somebody feel helpless or bring about themes such as abandonment, jealousy, control, and even abuse. Depending on the sign and house and of course overall chart and aspects to this Venus conjunct Pluto, it can indicate that this individual grew up in a household where things like money was not readily available. So they could have grown up in a very difficult household where they had a lack of the basic things that they needed, usually surrounding money. If we think of the incredible actor and artist Viola Davis, she is somebody who has her natal Venus conjunct Pluto, and she has detailed in her memoir, Finding Me, which I highly recommend you check out, that she grew up in a household and environment where she was subjected to poverty, racism, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and alcoholism. These are very difficult Plutonian themes. Every planet has their good and bad. Every energy molds and shifts and, of course, has its positive and negatives. On the more intense side or even negative side, Pluto can represent all of this, including sexual abuse, addiction, mental health, and usually with Pluto there is a level or a factor of crisis connected somehow. Viola Davis has often said that because of the house that she grew up in, she realized the value of money and being successful. So her drive to become successful is so deep and profound because it comes from lack and it comes from trauma. And you can often find that connected to Venus conjunct Pluto. Those who have Venus conjunct Pluto in their natal chart, in their birth chart, will be so driven to gather resources, to build their life, stability, security, to gather money, because they can often feel like their stability, their resources, even their wealth or anything they earn is going to be under threat at some point. These are people that can have a very hard time even enjoying the things that they earned or even gather. So for example, if this is an individual that has a lot of wealth in this life, they can have a hard time enjoying it. More so they want to protect it and keep gathering more because they think that they can lose it or it can be taken away from them. If we continue the topic and theme surrounding money, those who have Venus conjunct Pluto can often go through a time in their life where somebody takes advantage of them when it comes to their finances, so financial abuse can be very strongly connected to this placement. This individual could have had a figure in their life, usually a woman, a female, or somebody who is very feminine, that was in their life, a part of their life, had a relationship with them, but has betrayed them or taken advantage of them, especially financially. Venus conjunct Pluto people are often very aware the power that money holds, or even the power behind power itself. So there's a lot of power dynamics present in this individual's life, especially when it comes to their relationship with other things, whether that is people or even possessions, even money. If this is severely afflicted in their chart, and there are other placements and energies that also suggest this can be an individual who tries to buy love or who tries to buy other people and possessions. So either they can give people a lot of their own belongings under the guise of trying to obtain this person's loyalty or love, or they can try to play games and manipulate things such as money and other Venus-ruled themes to gain something that they want and more so that they need to control. Now, it doesn't have to be such dark themes all the time or even at all. Again, it depends on this individual's relationship with this energy and, of course, the overall chart. If there's grounding factors, positive aspects from Saturn, the moon is well placed, the moon is grounded, then this can also change things. And you'd have to look at the second house ruler, 11th house ruler, the moon, and overall chart as well. Instead of trying to buy other people's love or buy things for other people, this could be somebody who's deeply appreciative of other people's talents. So this could be somebody who actually is okay with giving money and giving up their resources to things that they admire or respect or want to be a part of. For example, Beyoncé is another individual who has Venus conjunct Pluto in her natal chart. Everyone is aware of how powerful her art is, and this is something I will get to. But when you look at what I just said when it comes to money with matters of love and other Venus themes, she is somebody that in her performance, she gives out money to have other people join her when it comes to presenting her art and other Venus themes. Now, if you flip this around, you can also see that other people can criticize artists who charge a lot to view them when it comes to concerts or other platforms, and this can also be very strongly connected to Venus-Plutonian themes. There's usually some kind of trauma surrounding finances, money, belonging, sentiments, and even the value system here. There's usually some kind of trauma, grief, or suffering connected to females, or at least a feminine figure at one point in their life. And by trauma or grief or suffering, I don't mean that it was anything light or, something that could easily pass by. Usually the trauma or wound caused by this feminine figure is so profound and deep, it really alters this person's perspective on so many different things, including love and possessions and money. So this individual learns power dynamics, power games, and manipulation very early on. And now it depends on the rest of the chart. They can use it and weaponize it against other people, or they can just be so aware of it that it can be very difficult to manipulate or take advantage of this person, especially as they grow up and move through life. There could have been somebody in this individual's life growing up, again, usually a feminine figure or a powerful figure, that used this person to gain. So oftentimes you can find this in the chart of musicians or artists who perhaps were child artists and grew up in a home where they were kind of pushed to perform and go out and work and earn for the family. Their self-esteem can be very strongly connected to how much they earn and how much profit they can bring somebody else. The self-esteem and self-love can go through a major transformation at one point in life, and they can often go through many transformations throughout life as well. So for example, if you look at this in a female's chart, it can be somebody who grew up in an environment where self-love was not taught, represented, or even shown when it comes to other women and their relationships with themselves, never mind their relationships with this individual. So it could be somebody who grew up and didn't think very highly of themselves or didn't have high self-esteem or self-love, but at some point in their life, certain events trigger a transformation so deep that they become very powerful, or they learn to step into their power. They could have grown up in a home or environment where they saw a prominent feminine figure being taken advantage of, or they could have really seen or witnessed this individual being crippled by the reality of life, and they could have seen what the lack of money or resources can do to somebody, so they have this deep desire to earn and to even hide what they have, and when it comes to money or anything else. So these individuals are often very secretive. It's very unlikely that you will know the truth about their financial situation. So this can be somebody who has a lot of money, who has a lot of wealth or a lot of assets, but they will never tell you and they'll never show you. They'll never reveal it to you, and they may even act as if they don't have very much. Because of the environment that they grew up in, or certain themes that they would have witnessed or experienced throughout their life, especially in their upbringing, they can be immensely skeptical when it comes to the intentions of other people, especially if others want to form deep, meaningful relationships with them. They're often immensely critical, hesitant, cautious, and observant of other people and their intentions. They can be immensely suspicious and untrusting of feminine energy in the form of other people. It's likely this individual is not keen on keeping a lot of feminine energy around themselves, or if they do have feminine energy around themselves, it's usually vetted and tested to great lengths before they actually allow it near them. Those who have Venus conjunct Pluto in their chart are usually involved in very sticky and even tricky third-party situations when it comes to romantic relationships. So at some point in their life, they could have experienced a third-party involvement in a significant relationship. So there could have been a, quote, other woman involved in one of their relationships, or they themselves could have been the other woman in a relationship. Love with this aspect is incredibly transformative, powerful, and even painful. At some point in their life, they will go through a deep transformation that they're usually not very open to, but almost forced to endure and go through, that deeply changes the way that they look at other people and their connection to love. These people can go through relationship dynamics where they give their all, and by giving their all, I don't mean in a Pisces Venus or Venus conjunct Neptune sense. It's not in a devotional sense. With Venus conjunct Pluto, it's more so survival, so they can give so much where their own survival is threatened. And this survival can mean in a physical sense, in a material sense, emotional, mental, financial, or spiritual. The bond that they have with their lovers, or that the lovers have with them, is immensely passionate, powerful, and usually unbreakable to some level, more often than not on a psychic or spiritual level. Obsession is usually very strongly connected to Venus conjunct Pluto, so these individuals can attract partners who are very obsessive, or they themselves can be immensely obsessive. There is usually some level of control involved, so it's likely this individual can attract very controlling, abusive, and even obsessive partners. On a higher level, they can attract very powerful individuals who have a lot of resources, and somebody that this individual feels safe with. Safety in love relationships is very highlighted here and often very difficult to come by. They can often attract and remain in relationships that don't provide them inner security or safety, almost mirroring their upbringing or difficult themes and dynamics they had when they were growing up. Or they can attract partners that want to use them for their possessions, their money, even sex and intimacy, or it can be flipped the other way around, where they want to have partners that provide for them, that take care of them, that are willing to go through a lot to be with them. Venus conjunct Pluto people often have to feel a pull to somebody to want to consider to be with them, and they will often put the person through a lot of tests and trials. And these tests and trials are not like somebody who has Venus conjunct Saturn, where that individual might put their partner through a test or trial initially. Those who have Venus conjunct Pluto in their natal chart will often put their partner and even their loved ones through many tests and trials repeatedly and consistently throughout life. And similar to Venus conjunct Saturn people, those who have Venus conjunct Pluto in their natal chart often have fear very strongly connected to love matters or relationships. So these individuals can end up being in a relationship with somebody that they fear somehow. Now, it can be in a very physical sense. It can end up in a very abusive relationship where they quite literally fear being close to the other person, or they can fear leaving the relationship as well, or they can even fear losing their partner. These individuals are incredibly possessive, protective, and demanding. So these are not people that like to share their partners with other people. If in a female chart, this female is not going to like her partner being friends with other females or hanging out with other females. Venus conjunct Pluto people are very much on guard at all times, especially with things that they hold very close to their heart, because it takes a lot to get close to their heart and become a part of their inner world. It can take a very long time or have to pass through a lot of different tests to even get love from this individual. So this can be somebody who gatekeeps and safeguards their affection and love. You have to really earn it and prove it to them in order for them to even be romantic with you or even show you love in other forms. These individuals are usually not very affectionate starting off. It can take, in fact, a very long time, and by a long time I mean years, for this individual to be affectionate with you. So things like PDA is usually not shown unless they feel really safe with you and you've passed their test. At some point in their life, their love, their relationship, and even marriage will go through a deep and a profound transformation. So things like cheating can be connected to this placement. Now, they can either cheat on their partner or their partner can cheat on them. There's usually some kind of betrayal connected, but it doesn't have to be cheating connected to this primary relationship. The example that I gave earlier was this individual can be involved in third-party situations. So for example, if we're talking about a woman who wants to be in a relationship with a man, but that man is in a relationship with another woman, this Venus conjunct Pluto person can come in and kind of get involved in that. So the partner, the man, ends up cheating on the other girl to be with this individual. Again, there can be a lot of sticky and difficult dynamics when it comes to love. Somebody who has this placement is Jada Pinkett Smith, and she is the wife of Will Smith. Now, I won't really get into their dynamic, but as I'm sure some people know about certain things that came to light when it comes to their inner dynamic, a lot of people shined a light on their relationship and their marriage and wanted an explanation to different things. You're welcome to Google that and go down that thread. There's usually some very difficult, awkward, and even painful themes connected to love in this life. So much so that this individual can actually be against marriage or not want to get married in this life. That doesn't mean that they're without a partner. They usually are involved with other people in a romantic sense at some point. If we look at it in a more positive manifestation, keyword being manifestation, these individuals can quite literally dream up and even summon their ideal romantic partner into their life, because Venus is manifestation. It's how we manifest and attract things to us. And with Pluto, that is essentially on steroids. It's immensely powerful. If you look at the example of Viola Davis again, she has famously said in her interviews that she prayed for her husband and she got exactly what she wanted, including the sport that he played. She wanted somebody that was previously married, had children, and then she got exactly what she asked for. And she's been married for a very long time and has a very deep and profound attachment to her partner. If we also look at Beyonce, who also has Venus conjunct Pluto, and her partner Jay-Z, I think everyone knows, and it's a famous kind of saying, that Beyonce doesn't play when it comes to Jay-Z. She is very attached to him. She loves that man deeply and profoundly, and they have a very powerful union. So it's not all bad. I don't want to create fear, and I don't want anybody to fear this placement. Yes, it has a lot of difficult themes, but usually when you cross over and you pass through those themes, you can end up with somebody that is really wonderful for you, very protective of you, and very serious about you. Here, love is very strongly connected to the divine, and people here with this placement are usually willing to go through a lot for the people that they love. For a Venus conjunct Pluto person, love needs to be very intense, passionate. It needs to have a very profound depth to it. These are individuals who need to see you be vulnerable, and the more difficult it is for you to be vulnerable, the more they will actually respect and open up to you. These are individuals who need intimate and honest conversations with other people, and if you're willing to really open up to them, something that you possibly have not done to other people, they will stick by you and even help you process your own complex and profound feelings. Venus conjunct Pluto in the natal chart is very famously and widely known as individuals who are the deepest lovers. Their feelings, when it's connected to love and attachment, run immensely deep. Their personality is very magnetic. It can almost hypnotize other people. People can be very obsessed and interested in them, especially their love life, so they can find that their love life, their partners are often speculated upon. Venus conjunct Pluto people can have feelings that run hot and cold in their relationship. Their love nature is so extreme that they can at some point even very much dislike their partner, especially if they sense betrayal in any level. Sometimes they can go through a relationship where they are deeply transformed within that relationship, so it's not necessary that the relationship actually breaks. They can just completely transform their love nature, and their relationship can transform into something else if there's betrayal or other things present. If there are other things in the chart that also suggest this, they can end up losing a partner permanently, and this can be to death. This is something that they can also fear because they love their partner so deeply to the point that this partner is the center of their world. Losing that partner will create panic and chaos in their life. Love relationships can quite literally turn their world upside down, and it can create a lot of chaos and turmoil for them. These people are not light-hearted lovers in any sense whatsoever. Even if they come across as that initially, you will definitely see their more intense and even jealous or possessive side when you enter into a deep and meaningful relationship with them. These people can be very intimidating to be in a relationship with, and it can be kind of painful to be in a relationship with them at certain points because they are so demanding and they expect so much from their loved ones, especially their partner, where they can actually indirectly create a lot of pressure and put a lot of pressure on their partner. Venus conjunct Pluto people expect loyalty and honesty to such an extreme and at all times where it can be very hard to meet the standard, especially consistently. These are not people that are even okay with white lies. They want complete honesty and truth and vulnerability. And these expectations and demands that the Venus conjunct Pluto person has is not coming from nowhere. It's usually because they are offering it so deeply and transparently to their partner that they almost are shocked and surprised when they are not getting it in return. It is very difficult to hide anything from this person. They are almost like a lie detector when it comes to their relationships. These are partners that can sense the energy change in a room, so they can tell if you're upset or even hiding something just from the way that you walk or just from the way the air shifts when you enter the room. It's very difficult to hide from this person on any level, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the partner is lying or hiding things from you. It's very difficult to hide your own trauma and even your own negative energy and difficult emotions from this person because they can sense it from you so effortlessly. It can be kind of unnerving and even scary to be in a relationship with them, especially if you're not ready to face your own traumas or your own depth, because this person will almost demand for you to do so, and they will also expect you to let them help you face these difficult themes. Venus conjunct Pluto people often have a very deep, almost hypnotic pull to certain relationships and partners, and their relationships can kind of become a playground or even a battleground where they face their own inner darkness, and they can actually enjoy doing this. So these are not people that shy away from depth or intensity. In fact, they expect it and they like it in other people as well. Venus conjunct Pluto people are individuals that want their partner to be outright obsessed with them. Middle ground or shallow emotions or being nonchalant or not accepted here, they're not welcomed here, and they can actually feel threatened by it. So these are not individuals who want to hear about your ex or your female friends or your male friends or anything like that. They want to be the center of your world because oftentimes you will be the center of their world. Venus conjunct Pluto people will want and sometimes even demand in other ways to be the center of your world, and they want this relationship they have with you to be the most important relationship of your life, sometimes even being more important than the relationship that you share with your family. Now, depending on the rest of the chart, they can outright say this to you and be openly demanding, or they can expect this from you, or in other ways get this quality and intensity and passion from you through other techniques and methods that you may not be consciously aware of. If you are able to pass this person's tests and enter into a relationship with them, expect it to be a very exclusive and committed relationship. These are not people that do talking stages with other people. They don't date around. If they know that they want you, then you are the only one that they want, and they expect that same energy to be returned to them. In fact, their love nature is so intense that if you accidentally even show love to an ex-partner, not even necessarily a romantic love, these people can be so turned off by that and completely disappear from your life or even deny you any love and affection. Venus conjunct Pluto people love with such an intensity, passion, and even devotion that you can find yourself to be completely consumed by their presence, love, and even relationship. And if you are in a relationship with them and the relationship ends for any reason, the heartbreak can be so severe that you can find yourself completely transformed by this experience with them. It is usually very difficult to forget the impact or experience that you had with this person, especially if you are in an intimate relationship with them. Their love often leaves a mark, and being with them can often be intoxicating, and you can feel very powerful and even protected by them. These are people that can really encourage you to step into your own power, or they're really willing to share their power with you if they find that they really love you and want to be with you. These are people that can stick by you and remain in a relationship with you through great crisis, so they are not somebody that gets scared easily or will leave you very easily. Usually there has to be a lot of heartbreak present for them to make the decision to leave you or end the relationship. Otherwise, they definitely stick by you through quite literally anything. Venus conjunct Pluto people make great charmers. They're very skilled at knowing what people want to hear and see. Oftentimes, these individuals have realized at a very early age that beauty is power. They possess the capacity for deep, lasting love. They have great personal magnetism and charm, and they also have an incredible capacity to understand their lovers. So as I stated earlier, it's very difficult to hide from them. These are people that see you and see your true essence. Their love is so powerful and it's so energetic that it almost never burns out or runs out, and they kind of expect the same from their partner. So these are individuals that can love their partner with the same intensity, passion, and devotion as they did 50 years ago, and they still have it now, and it will continue throughout their life. Venus conjunct Pluto people are so demanding because they give so much of themselves consistently. These are people that are quite literally willing to completely self-destruct for you and for the relationship if it means your happiness. There is usually enormous self-sacrifice present here, and they kind of want you to match that intensity to some level, and it can be very disappointing for them when they learn that you can't and a lot of different people can't. If there is a lack of grounding aspects to Venus conjunct Pluto, and again, depending on the sign that it's happening in and house it's sitting in, these individuals can have a devastating impact on other people. They are very good at looking into the core of other people. They can see you behind all your layers, and they have no problem kind of poking at things that they know is actually going to cause you pain, especially if they feel wronged by you. There is great wealth of feeling present with this aspect. Relationships are often the doorways to the deepest transformations in life, whether it's occurring in the Venus conjunct Pluto person's life or they're triggering it in other people's. They love so deeply, passionately, and wholeheartedly, and often with a lot of intensity, and other people can find this very attractive or also fear it. Because Venus represents feminine energy, females, women, people who have Venus conjunct Pluto in their chart can find that feminine energy is very obsessed and almost fixated with them. Sometimes it can be in a very powerful, positive way where they get a lot of support from women or feminine energy. So if this individual is going through a crisis, they can find that individuals who have a lot of feminine energy kind of come to their rescue and help them. Or it can be in the other way where a lot of crisis and pain is actually caused by feminine energy in other women due to jealousy and insecurity. Art and creativity for Venus conjunct Pluto people is immensely healing and powerful. The things that they create that is connected to their creativity usually has a very powerful effect on other people and can even help people go through more difficult things in their life, a key example being Beyonce. Venus conjunct Pluto people can be very talented and gifted when it comes to performance. So when it comes to acting, such as Viola Davis, who is known to be a powerful performer, she now has EGOT status as well. Venus conjunct Pluto people can be very gifted when it comes to writing, when it comes to music, and even wealth management. These are people that are very good with their money, and they can learn these skills due to crisis in the childhood. Their art, creation, and love can be so profoundly healing and transformative that it can actually give them fame or even awards in this life. These folks have a talent and gift of making other people feel what they want to, especially at a mass level. They don't shy away from dark and intense themes and will often bring it into their art and creation, and this can really resonate with other people who are navigating difficult times, and it creates a domino effect of healing, transformation, and even passion. Venus conjunct Pluto people can feel compelled, magnetized, and even just drawn so deeply to enter into relationships with certain people. They can feel almost hypnotized by others, and others can feel hypnotized by them, and they can tend to do everything in their power to get to the person that they want. Venus conjunct Pluto people will often attract very fated and karmic relationships into their life, and this is often due to the fact that they actually have very strong past life connections to their romantic relationships that are coming into this life. The people that they enter into relationships with often don't make a lot of sense to other people, so that's why their romantic relationships and even love nature or partners can come under scrutiny or even speculation in this life. This is an aspect that is extremely sensual, charming, and magnetic. These people are often very sexual after certain tests are passed, and this person can end up being very popular due to this, due to the energy that they give off, because other people can easily feel their depth, the capacity to understand others, and their capacity to push them towards growth and even exploring their own sexual energy. These are individuals who are very magnetic and can hypnotize other people with their aura and their ability to love others. They are usually very down to earth when it comes to the way that they express their sexual energy. If there's other indications in the chart, then they can be very overt in expressing their sexual energy as well. They can be very consumed by intimacy, money, and love. And they have the great ability to look for beauty in other people, no matter how deeply it is buried. Their sexuality is very strong and heightened here, and they tend to have major sex appeal. They have a very powerful ability to attract whatever it is that they want in this life. Oftentimes, the things that they desire, they are not even consciously aware of. So if there's more trauma and negative themes present, they can end up attracting people who help them play that out. So healing is going to be very important with this aspect. If this individual has overcome the more difficult parts of this aspect, they have a very powerful ability to attract whatever it is that they want to themselves. Again, this is a really great manifestation aspect, so they can attract their true love, their soulmate, whoever they want to themselves. They can attract wealth and opportunity, abundance as well. Venus conjunct Pluto is an immensely powerful aspect to have in a chart. It brings a lot of scorpionic and 8th house themes to matters connected to Venus. Venus conjunct Pluto people are powerful, transformative, demanding, deep, passionate, and can completely sacrifice for the people that they love. They are immensely charming and can easily attract attention to themselves without wanting to. There's usually a level of pain, past life karma, and difficulty connected to love matters in this life, but they have the great ability and strength to overcome it as well. With that being said, I'm going to wrap the Venus conjunct Pluto part of this video. As you can see on the screen, we have officially launched the Celestial Academy. We have Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 classes along with a full package offering as well. We not only talk about astrology, but we talk about numerology, human design, destiny matrix, tarot, ancient arts, teaching, and history as well when it comes to the spiritual arts. I will link all the class options in the bio of this video, and I strongly encourage you to sign up. Before you go, I have one more really important thing to share with you. Celestial has the incredible honor and opportunity to partner with an organization that is very close to our hearts and that very strongly aligns with our perspective and beliefs. If you've been watching our other videos, then you know that we have partnered with SOS Children's Village from July 18, 2023 to August 18, 2023. What this means is everybody at Celestial, including myself, our astrologers, our interns, our social media team and development team, is giving up our salaries and donating it to SOS Children's Village. This also means that any reading that you book with us or anything that you get from Celestial will be donated directly to SOS Children's Village on your behalf, and you can claim this on your taxes, so you do get a tax receipt as well. SOS Children's Village is a wonderful non-governmental organization. It has existed for 70 years with a presence in 137 countries and 568 villages with a seat at the UN to be the voice for rights of children everywhere. SOS Children's Village has a deep desire to help children in the world. Some of their goals involve strengthening families to prevent child abandonment, providing loving homes and families for children who lack parental care, educating and empowering children to reach their full potential, and advocating for children's rights so their voices can be heard. Every child has a right to belong to a family where they are respected, cared for, nourished, protected, and safe. Nothing in the world is more important than to care for a child, and this is what this organization is trying to do with your help. I will include the link to their website below. I strongly encourage you to donate to them directly as well. We are so appreciative and honored to be able to partner with an organization like SOS Children's Village. I strongly encourage you to read about them and find other ways that you can support them. One of the ways we here at Celestial want to offer support to SOS Children's Village is donating school supplies to their organization around the world, so when children are going back to school this fall, they don't feel like they have a lack or anything standing in their way in their ability to learn. We are so grateful for the response and support we've gotten in our partnership with SOS Children's Village, and we're so excited to see what else can happen in the remaining 13 days. With that being said, I'm going to officially wrap and close this video. Thank you so much for spending this chunk of time with me. I hope if nothing else, this video offered you a different perspective on Venus conjunct Pluto in the natal chart. I'm very excited to continue Venus conjunct the other planet series. Very soon I will be starting on the synastry and celebrity chart readings as well, because that's been highly requested. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're keeping safe, and until next time.